Good day, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I'm PJ. This is a channel where I show and give you my perspectives of different topics. I would like for you to listen attentively and know that these perspectives are just mine and mine only. Nothing is written in stone or by law, but hopefully you will get something positive out of it. And if you do, I would like for you to at least like and share and comment so that we'll know that we're doing good. Thank you. Today is going to be giving you a topic of something that's important to everyone. And we're going to give you a short segment on insurance and having insurance. Insurance is very important for the living and for those of us who have passed on. One of the first things I'd like to tell you is that I'm going to give you 5 different perspectives and essential things that you need to know about insurance. The number one thing is there are 2 types of insurances when it comes to death. There are term insurances and there are whole life insurances. And I'm going to explain them both. Term insurance is an insurance that you have where there's a lifetime term on it. And what I mean by that is that insurance is only good for, say, let's use for an example, 20 years. It's good for 20 years, and you can certainly speak with your insurance agent about this. But term insurance is an insurance that only lasts a certain amount of time. And let's say you take out a policy, a term in policy for 20 years. Well, at the end of that 20 years, you can outlive the policy and you live 20 years. Then what you have to do to continue having insurance, you have to reapply to keep that insurance. And you may or may not get approved for that policy the second time, which means if you don't get approved, you don't have insurance. And here again, you need to speak with your agent about this. Now, if you get term insurance at the end of that 20-year period, like I said, you apply again. And term insurance is generally cheaper than whole life insurance. But here again, on the other side, there's insurance called whole life insurance. And what whole life insurance is, you apply just like you would if you were getting a term life. You apply, you do the application, and if you're approved, you get your payment schedule, what time of the month that your payment is due, and as long as you make your payment on that whole life policy, then it doesn't run out in 20 years. That's why it's called whole life. It's for your life. And you pay your premiums on time. And that way, if something happens to you, or when something happens to you, you have insurance of the amount that you choose. That means that whole life is for your entire life once you are approved for that policy. Term life is only good for so many years, however many years that you decide to sign up for, and you have to reapply again. So again, speak with your insurance agent, and he or she will give you the particulars about that. The second thing is that whole life, as I think I've said this already, whole life is a little bit more expensive than term life. Term life is a little cheaper because it only lasts for so long. Whole life is for your entire life until you uh, pass away. Okay. The third thing is contestable state. I'm sure you've heard the name contestable. What that means in insurances is that contestable means that in that period of time, and it's usually contestable state with insurance companies, usually lasts for 2 years. And it's usually the first 2 years that you have the policy. It's called the contestable state. It means that for any reason at all, that insurance company decides that there's a reason that they should not pay or should not pay the total amount of the insurance, they have the legal authority to do that because it's in the contestable state. So virtually, in that contestable state, some companies will still pay for your policy and some companies won't. Some companies will not pay anything but the money that you have paid into the policy, which means the premiums that you have paid on that policy, they will reimburse you or your family member back the money that you have paid into it. They could do it that way, or they could pay the initial face amount, which is the value of the policy, in full. It's up to them. But most insurance companies have a 2-year contestable state. Make sure that you are well versed on that when you take out your insurance policy. If you're told that that insurance policy is in force, and on the first day that you take that insurance company, if you want to take them by their word, make sure that somewhere on that policy that they can show you that in writing. Anything that they tell you about that policy should be somewhere in writing. So make sure they show it to you in writing so that you'll have a better understanding of what you're getting. Okay? All right. Now, the fourth thing I want to share with you is coverage amounts. Now, coverage amounts vary, and that means the amount that the insurance company will pay upon the death of you or a loved one. That's your coverage amount, or some insurance agents call it the face amount. The face amount, that's the amount that they will pay in the event that there's a death. You have the ability to choose what coverage amount that you want, and it also depends on how much you're going to be paying monthly for that policy. So pay close attention to your face amount and how much your face amount is. And if I get $5,000, how much would I be paying monthly? Or if I get $20,000, how much will I be paying monthly for this policy? So get a better understanding from your agent as to what you will be paying monthly by how much your face amount is on that policy. And here again, depending on the company and what their stipulations are, how much you pay monthly also depends on health issues. How is your health? Are you in good health? Um, a younger person, or if you have a child that's only been born for maybe a year or less than a year, it's much cheaper to get whole life insurance on a baby than it is an adult. And that could be a whole life or a term. And if you get term life on a baby in 20 years, that policy is no good because the baby has outlived the policy. So that baby will have to reapply again. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're going to invest in a policy on a small child or a baby, get whole life. That's something he can have for the rest of his life. And some policies, not all policies, but some policies build up what we call a cash value. And it can help pay for college. It can help do a number of things whenever you take out whole life because there are different stipulations. So here again, your insurance agent can explain all that to you because I'm not an insurance agent, but I'm pretty well versed on how insurances work. So talk with your agent. All right. Let's see here. There are many different ways to have an insurance policy tailored to your needs. As I was saying, you can get a straight whole life insurance policy. You can get a policy that builds up cash value. You can get a policy that helps with college education as the person gets older, if it's a child. There are many different kinds of insurances, but sit down with your agent and discuss what kind of policy you're looking for. And I'm sure that they'll be able to um, take care of that for you. Now, when it comes to insurance policies for burial, if you go to your funeral director or your funeral home and you have insurance, some companies or funeral homes will use your insurance policy, and with some funeral homes, you don't have to pay anything down. With some funeral homes, you do still have to put some funds down because there are other things that need to be taken care of, even though you have insurance. Those are the things that need to be taken care of before your insurance has a time to pay off. And that would be your grave digging. It could be your vault. Uh, Certain things that are going to happen within a few days need to be paid for. And most funeral homes uh, do their business um, from the funds that you supply them to, it's called upfront cash. They take that upfront cash and distribute it to their vendors so that they can go ahead on with the service. And when the insurance money comes back, then everybody's free and clear. What you don't want to do, and listen at me closely, what you don't want to do when you have an insurance policy, it's okay to take your insurance policy to the funeral home. But once you get there, if you if you take a $10,000 policy to your funeral home and your funeral comes to $5,000, well then you just politely let your uh, arrangement person know that you want to pay the funeral bill with $5,000 out of your insurance, and the other $5,000 that's left, you want that in a separate check to come directly to you. There's no need for me to keep your money or to file your money in the name of the funeral home. That money can be written directly to you, I'll get my check and you get your check, and I don't have any reason for keeping your money. And that's the way we do business. We won't take an assignment on your whole policy. We will take an assignment on the amount that the funeral bill is due, and what's left over comes to you from the insurance company and a check to you, not the funeral home. So there are many different things you want to look for, and that's just me being transparent about things that happen whenever you have a funeral service. People are very vulnerable at that time. Some people are not thinking clearly, so they count on you to do the right thing. And that's something that I hold very close to my heart and very dear. You want to charge people exactly what you told them you were going to charge them, and show it to them in writing so that they will have something to look at. There are many different things that I know I did not cover as far as insurances, but you are certainly welcome to make an appointment, drop by the funeral home and see me. I'll try my best to answer your question. If I don't have the question at hand, I will certainly get you the answer from an insurance agent or somebody who's well versed, who has a insurance license. But I will certainly try to help you if I can. I implore you to send your comments in, uh, like, share. If you are able to subscribe, do that too, where I will know that this article is getting to the right people and that you are getting something positive out of the content that I'm providing for you. So if you do that, I will be ever so grateful. And as I always tell you, I want you to be kind. I want you to be careful. And I want you to beware of your surroundings, because we don't want any unforeseen accidents or things to happen when it doesn't have to be. That's going to be all for today. And I appreciate you listening. And until next time, when we come to you with another positive video, I will say God bless you, and please have a blessed day. Bye bye now.